Today, we're going to veer away from audio production a little, but it is relevant. This is a 2012 MacBook Pro, and it's now 2016, and this runs like crap. And there are reasons for that, and we're going to upgrade it. Okay, so the 2012 MacBook Pro, when it was new, was pretty awesome, and a lot of music producers that I know got them around that kind of time because the MacBook Pro was kind of the pinnacle right then. This isn't mine, this is Kristian's. So he's bought some new parts for it, and I'm gonna put it all together because being the IT geek, that's what I do. And it starts like hell because it uses an old spinning drive, and they came by default with a 5400 RPM drive. If you're not a tech guy, that is, out of the two usual options, the slower of the two. And the way that the spinning drives work, it's like a record player, which it kind of spins round, and that's fine if it's getting a load of data, but if it's getting some, then it's got to stop and get something else. It has to lift up the needle, move it somewhere else, put it down, get that bit, move it up, and keep doing that, and that is why they are so slow. When you first install your operating system and everything's in one big place, it can just get all the information and it's pretty quick. But 6 months, a year down the line, or in this case 4 years down the line, when you've upgraded your operating system and installed every program you can imagine, it's all scattered all over the show. And it takes forever to turn on. So we're going to turn this on now, and we're going to time how long it takes from me pressing the on button and getting Chris to put his password in to opening Reaper, let's say. So when Reaper's fully open, we'll stop the timer. And then we'll scream and cry to the sky and go, why, oh why. So here we go. Start the timer, please. So that's what, 4 or 5 minutes in. I'll put a timer on screen, and it just got to the point of asking us for an iLock. That's unacceptable. But what it is, and I know this because I've done this on several computers, it's the drive. The drive is so slow that it's holding everything up by miles. So it's time for a hard drive upgrade, and what we've got, this was a 750 gigabyte spinning drive, and what's important is size is not equated with speed. If it's a bigger drive, that does not make it faster. So you could get a 2 terabyte spinning drive, wouldn't be any faster because of this jumble of files it's got to keep jumping around in. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace the hard drive with a solid state drive. This is a Samsung 850 Evo 1 terabyte drive, which is slightly bigger than original. That's not because it's faster, but it's because all of Chris's stuff can be moved over and there's still some space left, just because for a music producer that's important. That means that you can not have to lug a second drive around with you if you can't fit it in your bag along with everything else that you have to carry. So while we're at it, we've discussed that Chris doesn't have any Time Machine backups or anything like that, which again, if all your audio stuff crashes on your hard drive, it's gone. So we've also got an external 2 terabyte drive that's going to be used for backups. So Time Machine's going to take care of that. We tried to do a Time Machine backup yesterday when all the gear arrived, but with this spinning hard drive it was taking hours just to even think about it. And while we're at it, there's 8 gig of memory in this laptop, so we're going to put 16 in it. We just used Scan, our local computer company, and checked out what RAM this laptop could handle as the maximum RAM, and it turned out to be this. So just do your homework a bit and make sure. I mean, this has got a nice little Mac symbol on it, so I feel quite assured it's going to work. And that's what we're going to do. So step 1 was, I have one of these little SATA to USB 3 connectors, and we jammed this in here so it's powered off the USB, and plugged this in as a blank drive, formatted it as Mac HFS, and okay, let's just can all this now. And we used Carbon Copy Cloner. We'll roll the VT over this. Carbon Copy Cloner is a drive cloning software that just takes the raw data and copies it across to a second drive, and you can use it as repeated backup Time Machine style. But what we're going to do is we're going to attempt, we're going to attempt to just copy all the files over to this, stick this inside the MacBook, and see if it just works, which it should, because of the way that Yosemite boots. It's not like the old styles where it used to be a kind of special little flower. It should be fairly hardy in that respect. Oh, good God. Right, what if I just turn it off? Alright, so we're going to just can this, turn it off. Oh. And then we are going to replace bits. So, step 1, unplug your laptop. You don't want it plugged into the mains whilst you've got a screwdriver in it. Step 2, Step 2, get your overhead camera running so you can see what's going on, because the other camera's going to have nothing but my back on it now. Step 3, turn it upside down. And we find that it's got tiny little posi drive screws. Let's see if this screwdriver is the right size, and it is. As a general rule, if a screwdriver looks a little too big for what you're using it for, as long as the point on the end is really fine, it's probably right. And this screwdriver that I've got looks too big, but it's absolutely perfect for these tiny little screws. So all I'm doing to this MacBook is taking off the bottom panel. It's not like brain surgery, it's more like Lego. All I'm doing is just taking this off so we can have a wee look inside. Now, it's funny that I looked recently at the spec of a 2016 top of the range MacBook Pro. Now this is a terabyte solid state flash drive, and you can only get those through Apple as a special upgrade, and it's, for the UK pricing at least, that's over a £2,000 MacBook. Over £2,000. Now this MacBook, the processor's relatively still as powerful as the previous generations. I mean, it's not way out of date. The processor, the main chunk of the board, is not kind of a dinosaur. It's not out of date. Okay, let's just gently lift this off. Check that I got all the screws out. Again, don't be afraid of this, guys. It's not, I mean, this Mac is a kind of age now where it's out of warranty, so it's not as if it's, ooh, only take it to the geniuses at Mac. There we go. So that just gently, he says, pops off. And what we can see inside is a terrifying array of bits. That's fair enough, but what we need to do is completely ignore all of this, because we're not going to touch this. The two things that we're changing today are the RAM and the hard drive. So let's pop the RAM out of its case. That lovely cracky noise. So the way that RAM comes out of a laptop usually is these two sides, just pull them outwards and the whole thing should pop out. And then you can just get 2 fingers on it and pull. And there's another one underneath it, so it's the same again, outside, lift up, and takes a little persuasion just because it's tucked underneath the other one. And pull, there we go. Apple have really squeezed everything in here, so it's just a little bit fidgety trying to get it out. There we go. So those old Hynix memories come out. This RAM is a matched pair, so it doesn't actually matter to me is which one goes in which slot, because they are in theory identical. All I have to do is shove the pins of one the right way round, by the way. There's a little key, so you can't put it in upside down. So these go in the right way round. Make sure that they sit in the bottom connector slot. And then just push it down gently with your thumb until it goes ka-clunk. Not enough force that you break anything, but you have to be firm, because if you're not firm and the RAM's not properly seated, it won't make a good connection. If it doesn't make a good connection, when you turn it on, it won't work, and then you'll panic and be like, oh, it's broken, it's broken. It's not broken, it's just not connected right. Now, onto the fiddly part, the hard drive, which has a tab attached already, which is quite nice. But it's held in place because if you think about it, this Mac is upside down, and usually you don't want the hard drive falling out, so it's held in by 2 large rubber kind of holders. So if I just take the 4 screws off this whole bar should lift. It might need a little more screwing from me. Yeah. That one pops out, and this one, yep, just slips out from underneath. Now, this is held in by a ribbon, and you just gently have to get your nails underneath this ribbon and just left, right, just walk it out. So that ribbon is a SATA connector, and this is our old spinning drive. Now, if you look closely at the edges, these little silver bits, and they don't come with the drive, they've been tacked on, and what they are just little bits to hold it in place. We need those because they don't come with the new drive. So I'm gonna get this thing of Chris's, go on, what's the word? Oh, I don't know if we've got a Torx bit small enough. Let's find out, shall we? For a, see if that gets in there. That's too big. Okay, so the correct tool evades us. So we're gonna go old school and get some pliers. Because these don't need to be pretty. These just need to be functional, because these are just little holder downers. So I'm just gonna use my pliers just to loosen them, not to rip them to shreds. Just to take these little holders out. Why Apple use so many different connectors in their MacBooks, I will never know. They're just trying to be more awkward so that only quote-unquote professionals have the correct tools to do the entire thing. But I'm already managing to get through this without the proper tools. I mean, it's not as if these serve a great function, they're just sticky outy bits, in a professional manner of speaking. There we go. Don't even do anything, they don't have any moving parts, they can't fail. There we go, there's 3. Oh. And go on. There's always one that just doesn't want to go. Always. There we go. Judicious amount of grip and a you will go. And before you know it, you have what you need. There we go. So, if this were mine, I would take this hard drive and throw it in a fire and do a little ritual so its soul may not return. But we're going to keep it just in case the hard drive that we have is not happy and doesn't quite work as expected. So let's put these little holder downer screws into the solid state drive, which is significantly lighter, by the way, so that's a nice little thing. You'll lose a few grams off the weight of your MacBook. Not that that's the reason that we did this at all, but hey, nice bonuses are always nice bonuses, right? So I'm just screwing these in by hand for now. Now the orientation of this drive is going to be determined by the orientation of that SATA ribbon. But with solid state drives that makes absolutely no difference, because with no moving parts, they don't care if they're upside down or sideways or whatever, because nothing moves. So you could use them in space and they would not care one little bit. Alright, so all 4 of those little holder downers are plugged in, so the hard drive pops on to our little ribbon here. 1, 2, 1, 2. No force, just walking it on there. Stick these 2 hex bolts in there, and then stick our holding down bar, whatever you want to call it, in the correct place on top of the drive. That way around, I suspect. It's better. Yep. And then get our old posi drive and screw her in. There we go. And that ain't going nowhere. That, yep, is solid. Alright, so now we put the cover back on. Not going to screw it on just yet, just in case anything isn't how we'd like. Let's turn it over and turn it on. And just make sure it boots. So we get our... come on, Apple logo. Apple logo?
Not the option. Not the option for you might find out how to type that.
So we have a solid blue screen and nothing else. Oh, no, we have an Apple. And that is absolutely flying. Yeah. Oh, whoa. No, I don't think. I think it was that because it was new RAM, it had to cack itself a little bit. Okay, so that's just logged in, and that's logged in at terrifying speed. Okay, so that camera can go off now. Let's just about this Mac, see if it tells us about 16 gig. We know the hard drive works because we're using it right now. We're still on battery as well. Oh, Dropbox has just popped up. That didn't happen before. And it is still a relatively slow boot, but hello, 16 gig of RAM, startup disk is called Untitled, graphics, processor, software update. Okay, so let's shut this down and then we'll do a timed boot, because the RAM upgrade was successful, the hard drive upgrade was successful. Let's time it. Okay, so that's off. We're still rolling, yeah?
Yeah, that's the right.
All right, here we go. Okay, so so that's got to this same iLock screen in a ridiculously, comparatively short amount of time. And the RAM is bigger, so that any video editing that Chris wants to do or anything, it's going to breeze through. The hard drive speed is now so far off the chart that it's gone from 10 minutes just trying to turn the damn thing on to a reasonable amount of time. So everything should now be super fast. Now we can do the time machine backup, which we're going to not do a video on because it's just simple. But this is how you bring an old Mac back to life, and this cost what, 300 quid for the terabyte hard drive and the RAM. So probably about $350, $400. Compared that to the $2,000 for the new Mac that is equivalent spec to this, and you've just saved yourself a lot of money. So happy producing. If you like the video, press the like button. If you dislike the video, I don't care. Please subscribe if you want to watch anything else like this, or we'll get back to music related stuff next week. And anything you want to see, any questions you've got, leave them in the comments below. I try and answer everything. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.